They are the best preserved collection of these kind of houses in Central Europe, and some of them are now offered for accommodation. You know, you want to stay here, you can. Today something typical from Slovakia. When you stop, you can have any kind of soup. Which soup?
Just soup.
How do we say soup? Oh, that's difficult. Polievka. Polievka. That means soup. What's his problem?
Down recently, and the new one was built by side, and now just 70,000 can sit down inside, and it's named after a Hungarian football player. Anybody on board from England? No? Okay, then I tell, otherwise I also would tell with a smile. So, we had a great football player. Most talented workers arrived, and they brought with them gas and flame, and with those equipment they cut the statue above the boots, so the boots left behind on the stage, and the statue fell on the ground and was cut into pieces, and all those who took part in that sculpture work put in a piece of the hated statue. By the way, on the right side you can see a cross, please check that. Here, where we are driving, we had a beautiful church, but was pulled down after the Second World War to have more room for those hated marches. And instead of the church, we got the statue of Stalin ahead on the right, there is the monument of the 1956 revolution. So the statue on stage was standing exactly here on the right. Now check your impressions watching that monument. You can see simple piece of irons are coming up from the soil. By the end they are united into a sharp edge, but cuts into the pavement. And among the cobblestones of the pavement you can realize the shape of the red star. So this was the place where those things happened, what I described to you before. And when the statue disappeared from here, then the revolution was started. I remember the unknown soldier, but the grave is empty, nobody's buried there. In this case, when we change the regime, the political system, we will change the body over there. Now in the middle of the square, the most characteristic feature of the square is the composition of the 7 equestrian statues. And those guys who are on the middle of the square were the leaders of the Hungarian nation. Usually we have there the statue of an angel, Archangel Gabriel with the Hungarian crown and the double cross to tell about the composition something. Now behind there is a semicircle colonnade where you can see the outstanding personalities of our past. On one side there are kings, on the opposite side there are leaders of uprisings and revolutions, because we had plenty of those. The left side, and on the right side we also like the lukewarm water, as we were elephants. So here on the right side, this is the most famous spa of the city, the Sage Spa. Look at this. This is the main facade built at the turn of the 19th, 20th century. In the middle of the building there are 3 huge open air pools surrounded this enormous big building, and in the building itself side there's a failed plan of the Hungarian government who wished to have here a rainforest in the city. It was a great dream to have real rainforest in Budapest, but it was so expensive that they couldn't finish on the left. So it's not in use. What a building, what is not in use. You can imagine even the maintenance is very expensive. Now on the right side there is a little kiosk where you can drink water. So it's not a pub, just a place to drink water, but it's very healthy to do. Locals used to go to the springs and drink the nice waters. It must be cooled down, it's extremely hot what they found here. Temperature of water almost boiling. So check the front of the castle, very romantic, with a moat around. Never anybody lived in this castle. This was built to be a museum of agriculture. There are different parts of the castle. One is characteristic for the Romanesque style, other one is for the Gothic style, the next section is for the Renaissance style, is characteristic, and then comes the Baroque. So all the styles what were in use since the Hungarians settled down in Hungary on this territory were shown by this castle on the left. It was built in 1896, and with the castle they wanted to show us how architecture developed in a 1,000 years period. Now this was the serious part of my speech. Now comes the easy to take part. If you watch that castle, we could see there the castle of Disneyland, you know, where nothing is original, everything is a fake copy, but the result is close to us, closer attention. So the Disneyland of the 19th century was left behind, and this is the skating rink here with the palace on the left, what was built to change the shoes. Imagine how rich they were. The road is wider and wider as we get closer and closer to the city park. And the road is more and more narrow as we drive in the direction of the river Danube, where there is chain bridge. And we do that, now we are driving in the direction of the center, but means that the road will be not as wide as here, but more narrow, and the house will be higher and higher by the end. Soviet Union in this palace on the right side. The left side, Art Nouveau style building again, but it is very nice. Under us runs the first underground what was built on the continent. Sounds much better to tell about that as the first on the continent than to describe as the second in Europe after the London Underground. But soon after the London Underground was completed, this also was set in use here. That even the last brick is glazed. Look at those statues leaning out of the wall. This is another Art Nouveau style, but was inspired by the arts of the East in this case, on the right. Not by the Hungarian folk art, it was inspired by the arts of the East. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's see, we are delaying here at the red traffic light, and the three on the right, on the left, the shopping street of Budapest. Where is your hotel? Your hotel is behind us, straight behind. There, by the end of this road, there is the Eastern Railway. In Hungary, they defeated the German and supporting Hungarian army in 1945. On the left side, there is the Liberty Bridge. Hungarian style bridge that is from the 19th century, and on the right side there is the great chain bridge what was constructed in 1838. At the bottom of the hill there is a Turkish bath what was built by Sokoli Mustafa, the Pasha of Buda, in the 16th century. If I wouldn't be with you, I would be there under that little dome, relaxing in the lukewarm water, dreaming about the future. In front of us there's a statue of Saint Gerard the Galilean. The statue is this, but it is the statue of a bishop after whom the hill is named. During the cruise I tell you the bloody story of the bishop. There is Castle Hill. Where are we? We are on the Buda side, of course. This is the hilly side of the city. We were colonized by Austria, and this was the case from 1686 till 1867. Again, long time, centuries. And then by then we could agree with Austria. Made the so-called compromise with Austria to form the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So this was the brief Hungarian history. On the left side is the most important junction of the Buda side. I described this square when we drive to the cruise after the visit of the Castle Hill. We'll see at that time better. Now prepare.